My name is Sue Brasher. I just married it. It doesn't exactly spell out and make it sound that way, but that's how you pronounce it, Brasher. I am running for re-election in Ward 4 in Elgin. I'm currently the Mayor Pro Tem as well. I have been in Elgin all of the first, except for the first 8 hours of my life. I was the third child, and so they kicked me out of the hospital 8 hours after I was born. And I've been here ever since. Good Lord willing, I'll be here till the day I die. I like Elgin, and that's the reason why I ran. This is the end of my 8th year currently, and I've never wanted to be a lifer. I think there should be term limits, and if I get elected, this will be my last. But there's just a little bit more stuff that I felt like needed to be done. Things that I currently am working on, my thing that I've always worked on since I've been the city council member is staff. Unfortunately, Elgin is right beside Travis County, Round Rock, the city of Austin, and if you go there and you work there, you make 2 and 3 times more. And so I'm always concerned about trying to keep a good staff here, taking care of all the infrastructure that we have in Elgin. Recently, somebody asked about taxes. I found out that the city of Bastrop and the city of Smithville currently have ceiling freezes on over 65, and so I have proposed that the city of Elgin also follow suit with that. So that'll be being brought up in the next couple of council meetings to see what it looks like, to make sure we can budget it out so that we can put a ceiling freeze on our over 65 people, because as more people come in here, it's just going to be harder and harder and harder for the true citizens of Elgin that have always been here, especially those older in age, to continue to live here. Things are going up. I'm having a hard time, and I'm not quite over 65 yet. I never wanted to be in politics. I ran for city council to help Elgin because I'm an Elginite, and I'm super proud to be an Elginite, and I just want to do all the good I can as long as I can. And that's me.
I just wanted to say, well, you have a question?
No, that's all right.
That you are very community oriented, and you are always present when there's something going on helping. And what are you part of? Another 8 or 12 other type of communities in Elgin?
But
I just wanted to point out that you're very community minded, and I think that's a huge factor.
I try, like I said, I'm Elgin. I'm happy to be from Elgin, and like I said, good Lord willing, I'll be here till the day I die. They needed softball coaches last year. I'm 52 years old. I have no grandchildren, but they asked, and I was the coach for softball last year with no children because they needed help at Little League. If you need a cake, be happy to bake you a German chocolate cake and let you go and auction it off to make lots of money. So I just try to do, like I said, all the good I can as long as I can.
Curtis. It seems like to me that a lot of times the city is more reactionary than they are leading. And I'm just real concerned about the growth that's going to be taking place in the next 5 years. And with this suggestion he has, and I just wanted to see if you had any thoughts as to what we need to do, and I don't know if the city's planning on doing anything to prepare for that. Maybe you could share with us, since you've been on the board for so long.
Sure.
What's going on.
Sure. At the last council meeting, I also asked that we, when I first came, it was actually 7 years ago, into my first year, we lowered the lot sizes because we were having problems and people weren't coming. And so the council lowered the lot sizes. It worked. It really, really worked. And so what I asked is for us to take a look at bringing lot sizes back up again. I think we're done with starter homes. I think we can move past that. And so we'll see that back on the agenda to try to bring the lot sizes back up again for any new developments. Can't do anything about what's already here. And about reactionary, WC was also on the council some years back before I was, and anybody else on the council prior to that. Elgin didn't have a lot of money, and so everything we did was reactionary because that's all we could do. You know, to make the city run, to make sure the staff was paid. Right now, we're finally starting to see where we can have a surplus, right? As Thomas explained about the fees that are coming in. So we need to be now forward thinking. What I totally agree with what he says. If we're getting these fees in, then we actually should use those. And if you could see what we're doing with the developers now, whenever they have come in, they have to offer parks or fees for a park to give a larger park. They have to give up land for either emergency services or for school district. And they're on the county line subdivision, they've also had to give money in the millions of dollars between all of them to help fund that road. So we're being more forward thinking now. But what you said was true. Back then, we totally were very reactionary because we simply didn't have a lot of money to do what we needed to do at the time. We were just surviving. Does that kind of answer your question?
John?
I have a question because I live in Ward 4 and you're my representative. We're spending a lot of infrastructure dollars in the new areas. And today, it was awesome. They were striping the roads. They're out, the guys are working really hard. But as I've driven around town a lot this week, I've seen like 5 water. And we know the infrastructure in the older parts of town are really crumbling. So what's the plan going forward to start mounting maybe some of these development fees towards fixing infrastructure in the older parts of town?
Sure. Part of the reason why broader bills go up is exactly for that. And if you will remember, I also was the one that said, give me a list, please, to show me any kind of asbestos pipes that we have in town, in the older parts of town, any kind of pipes that are clay pipes, and yes, we still have some that are still clay pipes, and let's work on those and get those fixed too. So then we can utilize some of the money that we're bringing in on fees and stuff to take care of me, Stephanie. We're old timers. We're in what we call old Elgin. I don't want anybody coming in brand new, although I'm glad they're here, to reap all the rewards, because we have to take care of our current infrastructure in Elgin proper.
I think you've answered it, but you made the comment earlier that you're running again because there's some things you'd still like to finish. I think you've touched on a number of those. Any others that you'd like to touch on?
I think that's the big thing.
Okay.
We're going through tons and tons of changes. And if you follow along with the city council, you know the progression we're going in. And I would love to be able to make sure that we get that road finished and to make sure that we're dealing with the infrastructure in old Elgin, right? Because in the very beginning, well, still to this day, my brother was a director with the city of Elgin for many, many years for water and wastewater. I'm all about pipes. Let's get them fixed. Let's get the old ones out and the infrastructure in that we need to take care of the people that have been here forever. And so I really stay focused a lot on the infrastructure other than new.
And that's hard to argue with. So where does the money come? I'm sure it needs to be done. Again, there's enough money, cash flow coming in to do all that with?
No, because I don't know if you've priced out pipes lately or roads.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
No, but where we're growing as a city also means that we can grow as a staff too. And so we need to put a little bit more emphasis on grants, on federal grants, on streets and water, wastewater. There's tons of that out there through the FDA. We need to be on top of that and making sure that we're getting all that we can for the city through that means as well. One sole source of money is not going to work here. Just because we need too many things, right? So we have to make sure that somebody's watching all the things to get as much funding as we possibly can and utilize that.
So is there someone that's going after the grant money?
We have somebody that does that now, but it's not 100% their job. Again, not a lot of money, not a lot of staff, but we're getting to where we can do that and we can say, we really need somebody that's honed in on working, getting the grants and the money coming in that way that would help supplement things. And at this point, I can justify in my mind that they're going to pay for their salary themselves because they're going after that money.
So that works.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I know you'll have to run.
There's that one question. When you're going after money, I think it's important to realize and to understand what the caveats are when they make grants. What kind of, government makes grants on a lot of things. They want some favors in return.
Always, because that's the government.
That's right. But some things are not acceptable.
We've turned down grants
Yeah.
because it was just too much.
Yeah.
And so you always have to stay on top of, well, here's this money, but here's what you're going to have to do. We've had to turn down grants before because that could not happen.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. No, you always have to watch this part of it.
Okay, good.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Sydney.